Hi guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today, Thursday, March the 4th. Hope you guys are having a good trading week so far. Now, what is a 3D market commentary for those that might be new to this and not really know what we're doing? So every day before the markets open, we send out a news flash which contains information for 5 of the major markets in the world. Now, when I say it contains information, what I mean is that we go through the technology that we use in order to help us figure out, should we be buying these markets, should we be selling them, should we be keeping away, and if we're going to buy them, where do we have higher probabilities to buy them? If we're going to sell them, where do we have higher probabilities to sell them? And then also, what can we expect in terms of volatility? So we go through that information per market for each of these 5 major markets in the world that we look at. So I'll go through that in a second. Just need to do the disclaimers first, so let's just cover that. That should play there on the screen. There we go, cool. So again, disclaimers are important for you guys to read, not just for legal reasons, but to know what to expect and to know what to think about these kind of things. So there they are there on the screen being highlighted. Just so you see on the side there, if you tilt your head a little bit, my name is Becky and my email address is becky@tradictive.com. So you can email me if you have any questions about anything that we cover in these sessions, or trading questions in general, you can email me. There's also this link here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. Now, if you're new to this and you don't yet have the news flash sent to you every day, then if you go to that link, tradewithufos.com/Becky, you'll come to this page. Just set yourself up with a free Trade with UFOs membership. So name and email address, and then click through with the steps. Once you've got a free membership, you'll get that news flash through every day for free. So what I go through in a second, you'll be getting that every day. There's also this bit just a little bit further down, questions and answers. So if you email me, of course, I'm happy to respond and give you an answer. However, I do prefer that people ask questions in a public setting so that the answer can then be public and other people in the community can learn from the same question. So once you've got a membership, you can then ask a question publicly. And then if you come down here, there are some questions here that other people have already asked and the answers are already there. So again, it helps everybody else to learn. It might be that the question you have, the answer is already here. It might be that the question you have is a new question, and then the answer that we then give is then helpful for somebody else that comes to it at a later point. So we prefer that, if possible, to use these links to do that. Mine is tradewithufos.com/Becky. Otherwise, you can email me. But again, the free membership will give you access to the thing I'm about to go through. So let's go through that now. So let's just bring up, this is the news flash, this is what that looks like, and then we'll look at the chart as well so we can see it at the same time. So it's a 3D approach because we're looking at 3 major concepts. So as I said before, we're looking at, should we be going long, should we be going short, so should we be buying, should we be selling, or should we be keeping away? We're using market climate to help us identify that. That is this. So our Auto Climate app is a technology that looks through the markets for us and tells us in the form of thick red dots, thick blue dots, or thin dots of either colour, what we should be doing. If it's thick red, in the case of this, we would be looking to go short. If it's thick blue, we would be looking to go long. If it's a thin dot of either colour, we keep away. So pretty simple, and again, we're using the technology there to help us out with that. Then what we're looking at is buy and sell UFOs, unfilled orders. This is helping us figure out if we're going to buy, where do we buy? If we're going to sell, where do we sell? And we're looking again on the chart here using the technology. Let me just do that arrow again. Looking for these little flying saucers, which helps us figure out where those stacks of buy and sell orders are. Why is that important? If there are loads of buy orders in a market, it's likely to push it up. If there are loads of sell orders in a market, they're likely to push it down. So again, we want to know where those stacks of buy and sell orders are, and we use technology to highlight that for us. And then we look at market volatility as well, which is what we can expect in terms of price change, price movement, up or down within given periods of time. Okay, so let's start with the first market, which is the S&P 500. We're looking at the ES, which is the futures contract for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 represents, or is an index that represents the top 500 US stocks. So if you don't know what the ES is, just understand we're looking at US stocks here. So in this example, what we have here, under climate, we have a current downward climate and it's confirmed. We see that because we have a thick red dot here, showing us confirmed downwards climate, probability to the downside. Now, there's a third element here of our climate. We have these stats, these numbers here. What do they tell us? These stats tell us how long these markets usually go in that direction for and how far we are currently into that movement. So in this case, this market would usually go down for 3.02 candles. I'm going to round it up. I know that's a very small decimal place, but every number that we get past that decimal place, we're going to round it up anyway. So let's say 4. This market usually moves down for 4 candles, and we're on candle number 2, meaning that we have probability of a continuous move down based on what normally happens. So overall there, in terms of climate, probability to the downside there with the S&P. In terms of buy and sell UFOs, we have no sell UFOs above us. We've been at all-time highs. We are yet to form sell UFOs and to see selling data above us. So for the moment, that's blank. When it comes to buy UFOs, this top one here, that is the most relevant to us. That is 34.80 to 33.19. That's where the closest stack of buy orders are. So again, room to the downside there in terms of orders, and we've got a climate there pushing to the downside. In terms of volatility, we look at the VIX and we can see from that what we expect in terms of movement up or down within given periods of time. So in a day, we would expect the S&P to move up or down 65.84 points. In a week, we would expect a movement up or down of 144.94 points. And in a month, we'd expect movement up or down of 301.73 points. So again, that's movement up or down that we expect within these given periods of time. It's not exact, it's not to say it's going to exactly move that amount, but it just gives us an idea of what we can expect. And then we can use our climate and UFOs to help us figure out in which direction that's more likely to happen and for how long. So that's the S&P. Let's move on to the next market. The next one is oil. In the meantime, just to say, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I did know what the stocks were, but I don't know what the ES is, this futures thing sounds interesting, or other way round, or maybe trading psychology, trading plans, Forex, different markets you want to learn, different approaches that you want to learn. We do many different courses. You can click on that link in the email there and go and have a look at the courses. And all of the courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to AutoUFOs and AutoClimate, which are the technology that we're using. Okay, so let's look at crude oil. Here we go. Let's just move this a little bit here so we see what we need to see. There we are. Okay, so with crude oil, our climate tells us we have a current upwards climate confirmed. We have a thick blue dot. That tells us that we have probability to the upside there, confirmed upwards climate. Usually this market would go up for 7 candles, again I'm rounding that up, and we're on candle number 1. Meaning we have probability there of a continuous move to the upside for at least another few candles based on what usually happens in this market. So again, overall probability there to the upside with oil. And when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we have a closest stack of sell orders just above us here at 62.65 to 63.81. Closest stack of buy orders a little bit way below us there at 57.29 to 54.81. So again, that shows us where we have these stacks of orders likely to change the direction of price. Overall, we have probability to the upside there from the climate, but we have a stack of sell orders in the way that might change that might get in the way of that. So be aware of that, but overall there with the climate, probability to the upside. When it comes to volatility, we use OVX, and we can figure out from that we would expect movement up or down in one day of 1.53 points, in 1 week of 3.36 points, and in 1 month up or down of 7 points. So again, gives us an idea of what we can expect up or down within these given periods of time, and we use our climate and UFOs to help us figure out in which direction that is most likely to happen. Okay, let's move to the next market. So that's gold. In the meantime here, we've got a little thing there about AutoUFOs. These are the stacks of orders there that we're seeing highlighted on the chart. It's an app that we use. You can download AutoUFOs. Again, they come free as part of the courses, but let's say you don't want to take a course and you just want the technology. You can use the technology itself. Depending on which platform you use, depends on the price of the app. For TradingView, which is the one I'm using now, is $34 a month. So again, you can click that if you want to understand more. The AutoClimate, by the way, this down here, is a free app. So you can download that for free once you have a free membership. Okay, let's look at gold. So again, major market in the world, gold. Looks slightly different than what we've just seen before. So let's just move that a little bit there. Okay, so with gold, we have a current confirmed downwards climate. We see that here. And we see a nice thick red dot. That tells us confirmed downwards climate, probability there to the downside. Now, usually this market would go down for 7 candles, and we're on candle number 6, meaning that based on what usually happens, we've probably got another day or so of movement to the downside before something might change. Now, of course, we do go past what is usual. We do fall short of what is usual. This doesn't mean this happens every time exactly. It's an average based on what usually happens based on statistical probabilities. So it may be that we go to 7, 8, 9, 10, even further. But just be aware that the further we go past what is usual to happen, the less likely it is to keep doing that. So again, bear that in mind there with gold. When it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we have a sell UFO literally we're kind of in it right now, which is 1757.4 to 1704.6. So again, just in it right now, which again would add more pressure there to the downside. So confirmed downwards climate and sell orders that we're in right now, likely to push price down. Closest stack of buy orders, further away from us obviously than the sell orders that we're in at the moment. The numbers for that are 1652.8 to 1624.4. So again, overall probability there to the downside with gold, at least for another day or so, with room for it to move based on the orders. Now, when it comes to volatility, we look at GVZ or GVZ, and we expect from that we would see in a day up or down a movement of 22.57 points, in a week up or down of 49.69 points, and in a month up or down of 103.44 points. So again, that's up or down in gold. We can use our climate and UFOs to help us figure out in which direction that's more likely to happen. Overall with gold, probability there to the downside. Now, just to say, by the way, I'm using the word probability. Just because something is probable does not mean it's definite. So, of course, we still need to layer this into our trade plans, help figure out whether or not it's something that we want to take based on other probabilities we might use or other variables that we might want to add in there. Definitely manage our risk. Just because it's probable doesn't mean it's definite. So, again, whatever you do, be careful. So, we'll move through to the next market. And again, just saying here, you might be somebody that doesn't really want a course. Maybe you're already using the apps, and maybe you want to join us coaching where you can watch us use these apps live in the markets, placing trades in each of those major asset classes: forex, stocks, futures, options. So again, you can join our coaching there. It's $21 a month to join us there. Okay, so moving on to the next market. Now, this is probably is the biggest market. The US dollar by itself is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every single day. So it's a very important beast. It's something that we need to be aware of. Even if you don't trade it, even if you don't trade currency pairs with the dollar in, be aware of what the dollar is doing, because the dollar will impact all of these other major markets that we're looking at and other things as well. So be aware. So when it comes to the dollar, we have a confirmed upwards climate. We have a thick blue dot, which tells us probability to the upside. Usually this market goes up for 5 candles, and we're on candle number 4. So again, probability of a little bit more of a move to the upside based on what usually happens. In terms of buy and sell UFOs, we have buy UFOs here, which is 90.445 to 89.675. And then we have closest stack of sell orders, which is just above us there. So if we hit that, then that might be the thing that changes the climate. We'll see. The numbers for that are 91.49 to 92.04. So those are the stacks of buy and sell orders. Then when it comes to volatility, we see here that we would expect to move up or down in one day of 0.38 points, in 1 week up or down of 0.83 points, and in a month up or down of 1.72 points. So again, up or down, and then we can figure out with our technology and our probabilities variables that you may use to help figure out in which direction that's more likely to happen, and therefore what we do as traders. So moving on to the last market, which is the backed Bitcoin. So let's put that on the chart there. Okay. Now, again, just to say, you're probably already watching this on YouTube or Facebook or something like that, but we do have a YouTube channel, so you can follow us where we place trades again in live markets. We'll discuss different concepts, what we do, why we do it, how we use the technology. You can follow those kind of things on YouTube if you'd like to. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, let's just move this down a little bit. For the first time in a while, we have a sell UFO. So let's just take a look at this here. So firstly, with climate, we have a current confirmed climate to the upside. So thick blue dot, probability there to the upside. We've obviously had a few days of indecision there. That's probably no surprise to those of you that trade Bitcoin or follow Bitcoin. Now, we're on candle number 1 out of how many? Now, we don't have stats for that. Reason for that is because this market has not been around long enough for us to be able to figure out what is usual, what is normal. At the moment, it's too new a product to know what happens usually, which means we're kind of in the dark there about these kind of stats, but we are on candle number 1 of a move to the upside. So again, wouldn't be surprised if it does continue further from that. We know just from looking here that it does, go up for a bit, comes down for a bit, but goes up for longer, roughly. Again, not enough data yet to really call that, but we are on the first candle of a move to the upside. When it comes to buy and sell UFOs, closest buy UFO is down here, and that's 39,157.5 to 32,192.5. And then closest stack of sell orders, we're inside them right now. The numbers for that are 49, 347.5 to 58, 562.5. So again, be aware here that what we have are two competing forces. We have a confirmed upwards climate, so probability to the upside, but we are within a stack of sell orders, so that's pushing it to the downside. So we've got two forces here on the same chart working against each other. I would choose to keep out of that. We don't know which side is going to win, and you'll be putting your money at risk and your time at risk to be placing trades to find out which one wins. So at the moment, this will be something I would be keeping out of. Now, when it comes to volatility, again, it's a very volatile market. We should be aware of that, and it's not a bad thing. We just need to be aware. So the expected move in a day, up or down, would be 3,261.08. In a week, up or down, of 7,178.93. And a monthly move would be 14,944.14. So if you look at those numbers as percentages of what the values are, it's quite a lot compared to the other markets we've looked at. Again, not a bad thing. It's probably not a surprise to you guys that Bitcoin is a little bit more volatile. If you're on the right side of volatility, that's a good thing. If you're on the wrong side of volatility, that's a bad thing. So just be aware, be safe, manage your risk. You should be doing that anyway, but particularly with volatile markets. Okay, so that actually brings me to the weekly economic calendar, which is the calendar that we put here from FX Street. So if you Google FX Street economic calendar, you'll find this. We've filtered by high impact news, and we can see from here the news that is likely to cause volatility. Now, we don't necessarily use this to help figure out whether we should buy or sell. That's done by our technology. We're trying to be objective, or as objective as possible here. But we might want to be aware that, for example, today being Thursday 4th of March, that we have some euro and US dollar news coming out. In fact, it looks like the euro would have already come out. So just to be aware that today and tomorrow then, we have news that could affect the US dollar, which means it could affect the US markets, could affect oil, could affect gold. So just to be aware of it. That's not to say you'll keep away and not trade it at all. You may just put less trades on or lower your risk. It may be that the price has already factored in what the news would say or not, in which case it doesn't move that much at all. But just be aware that high impact news, of course, can affect the markets, making them more volatile. We should be aware of that. Now, you might have some questions and you might be thinking, I'm watching this and I already trade Forex, but I'm interested in stocks. Or I already trade stocks, but I want to understand about futures. Is that the right thing for me? Should I even be trading? Maybe you're completely new and you're thinking this is all going over my head. You can schedule a self-clarification call with our experts and talk through those things. Is it the apps that might help you out? Is it certain courses or coaching that might help you out? Should you be keeping away from trading at all? You know, sometimes trading isn't for everybody. So schedule a call and you can talk with one of our experts and figure that out. Otherwise, any questions, like I said, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com, or you can go to, and I prefer you go to, tradewithufos.com/Becky and ask me a question publicly here so that I can answer the question, everybody else can see the answer, we all learn from it. If you're completely new to us, setting up a free membership will also get you that news flash. The thing we just went through, you'll get that through every day. Any questions, just let us know, whatever medium you're most comfortable in. Otherwise, hope you guys have a great couple of days left in our trading week. I'll be back tomorrow morning. So have a great day today, guys. Happy trading and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.